before drawing the GNAT chart, if you will simultaneously represent the ready queue, it will be easy for you. So ready queue contains the processes which are ready for execution and to be allocated to the CPU. So initially in the ready queue, what are the processes present? At time 0, there are two processes entered into the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P2. Okay, but previously all the processes are having the same arrival time. That means all are entering into the ready queue at the same time. What the thing? So now at time 0, which process will start its execution? Who can tell me? At time 0, as
P1.
only two processes are there
Ma'am,
in
your
the ready
voice
queue.
is
One
not.
is P1, another is P2. So which one will start its execution? P1 or P2?
P2.
P2. So at time 0, P2 will start its execution as it is a non-preemptive scheduling. So it will release the CPU after its termination. The burst time for P2 is 3
Hello.
milliseconds. So P2 will continue up to 3. Okay? P2 will continue up to 3. So now P2 is not in the ready queue. P2 is executing. Now
Ma'am, why
while
you have
P2 is
taken P2 as
executing,
first?
it is
Hello.
a SJF scheduling, shortest job fast scheduling. The
Yes,
process
ma'am.
having the shortest burst time. If you will compare the burst time for P1 and P2,
Yes, ma'am.
at time
Understand.
0, there is two processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another process is P2. Out of this P1, P2, P2 having the shortest CPU burst time, that is 3. So P2 is allocated to the CPU first, and it will continue up to 3 milliseconds. Okay. So while P2 is executing at time 1, at the arrival time 1, the process P3 enters into the ready queue. Okay. Similarly, at time 2, the process P4 enters into the ready queue. Don't get confused with the ready queue and the GNAT chat. GNAT chat represents in which order the processes are allocated to the CPU and keeps the CPU for its execution. So P2 will complete at time 3. By this, what are the processes available in the ready queue? This is P1, P3, P4. Okay, till now P5 is not available in the ready queue. So now what is the next process to be selected to be executed by the CPU? Now the
P1.
scheduler will compare the burst time. Listen, the scheduler will now compare the burst time of P1, P3, P4. Okay? Currently, at time after 3 milliseconds, there are 3 processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P3, another one is P4. So what the scheduler will do? Out of these 3 processes, P1, P3, P4, the process having the smallest burst time. What is the burst time for P1? It is 5.
High.
What is the burst time for P3? It is 1. For P3, 1. For P4, 6. So which process will be selected by the scheduler?
P3.
P3. So after P2, it is P3 which will start its execution. And it will continue up to
4.
Four
4.
because it has the burst time 1. So 3 plus 1, it will continue up to 4. Okay. So P2 has completed its execution. So just take at time 4, the other process that enter into the ready queue is P5. So now P5 enters into the ready queue at time 4. So the box time for P5 is 2. So the processes now in the ready queue are P1, P4, P5. P1 having the burst time 5, P4 having the burst time 6, and P5 having the burst time 2. So now tell me, what is the next process to be selected for
E5.
execution?
E5.
That is P5. So at time 4, it is P5 which will start its execution. It will be taken from the ready queue and will be allocated to the CPU. Listen carefully. It will be better you simultaneously draw the ready queue and also the NAT chart. Now P5 will continue up to
6.
P5 6. So finish time for P5 is 6. So now, what is the next process to be allocated to the CPU? What is the next one?
One second, ma'am.
So again the scheduler will say, what are the processes in the ready queue? Now there are
Ma'am,
only two
P1.
processes.
P1.
Okay. So P1. So at time 6, now P1 will start its execution. It will be taken from the ready queue. So P1 will continue up to
11.
11. Because the box time for P1 is 5. So 6 plus 5, that is 11. So now after P1, the remaining process is P4. So P4 will start at 11 and it will continue up to
17.
17. Okay. So Gantt chart represents in which order the processes are selected by the scheduler allocated to the CPU for its execution. So now looking at the Gantt chart, let's find out the turnaround time, waiting time and the response time. So how to calculate the turnaround time? Finish time minus arrival time. So now tell me, for process P1, what will be the turnaround time? For process
11.
P1,
11.
what will be the
11.
turnaround time? Yes,
11.
11. 11 minus 0, that is 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Then for P2, for P2,
3.
what is the turn? Yes,
3. 3.
how 3? What is the finish time for P2?
3.
3. Arrival time?
0.
0. So turnaround time is 3. Correct. Then next, for P3, what is the turnaround time for P3?
4. 4. 4.
Finish time for P3 is 4. Arrival time is 1. So what is the turnaround time?
3.
3. 4 minus 1. Okay? You write in the expanded one. 4 minus 1. That is 3. Similarly, tell me for P4. What is the turnaround time for P4?
17 minutes to 15.
Yes.
15.
Ma'am, for which?
P4. Next process.
15. 17 minus 2.
17 minus 2. That is 15. For P5. For P5.
2.
2.
2. 6 minus 4, that is 2. Now calculate the average turnaround time. Calculate the average turnaround time and tell me. What is the average turnaround time you have find out?
6 point something. 34 by 5.
6.8.
34 by 5. 6.8. So the same problem, just check, the same problem we have also solved using the fast come fast serve scheduling. Can you just check and tell me what was the turnaround time using the fast come fast serve scheduling? Exactly the same problem we have solved last class. Can you tell me what was the turnaround time we have find out for the same problem using fast come fast serve scheduling?
Ma'am, it was 9.4.
Yes, it was 9.4 and now it is 6.8. So it is clear that SAP is providing better result compared to your fast come fast serve scheduling. So now let's find out the waiting time. Now corresponding to process P1, what will be the waiting time? I have just written the formula.
6.
Already you have calculated the turnaround time. So turnaround time minus the burst time. It will give you the
6.
waiting time. 6. 11 minus 5, that is 6. For P2,
0.
0.
0. 3 minus 3, that is 0. For P3,
2.
for P3,
2.
3 minus 1, that is 2. For P4,
9.
for P4, 9.
9.
15 minus 6, that is 9. For P5,
0.
2 minus 2, that is 0. So quickly tell me what will be the average waiting time.
3.4.
How much?
3.4.
3.4. So if you will compare the average waiting time,
Ma'am, not audible.
with respect to the waiting time, average waiting time. Yes,
Ma'am, what?
the same problem we have solved using fast come fast serve scheduling. What was the average waiting time for the same problem using fast come fast serve scheduling?
Ma'am, 6.
Here that it is better compared to your fast come fast serve scheduling. Now let's check for the response time. So now tell me what is the response time for P1? For P1, what is the fast response?
6.
6. So 6 minus 0. Arrival time is 0. So 6 minus 0. That is 6. Now for P2,
0 minus
P2,
0 minus 0.
0 minus 0. So that is 0. For P3,
3 minus 1.
For P3, 3 minus
3
1.
minus 1.
Yes, that is 2. For P4, for P4,
11 minus 2, 9. 11 minus
11 minus 2, 9. 11 minus 2, that is 9. For P5,
4 minus 4, 0.
4 minus 4, that is 0. So now here also, if you will compare the response time with the waiting time,
3.4.
you will find that it is same. 3.4. Why it is same? Why it is same? Why the response time and waiting time for this problem is same? Can you tell me?
No.
Yes. Can you tell me why it is same? Because it is a non-preemptive CPU scheduling. I have told you to make a note. Remember, for every non-preemptive CPU scheduling, the waiting time is same with its response time. Okay? So, in case of your fast come fast serve scheduling, also you have checked that. Fast come fast serve, by default it is non-preemptive. So the waiting time and the response time of the fast come fast serve scheduling, always it was same for all the processes. Similarly, here for the non-preemptive SJF, the waiting time and the response time for all the processes are also same. What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you just repeat
All of
this
you have written
Gantt
this
chart?
problem?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
Ma'am, can you just repeat this
All of you have
Gantt chart?
complete.
How you have done this?
Your voice is not clear. Have you written? Have you completed the problem?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now come to okay. So now come to primitive SJF, or that is known as shortest remaining time fast scheduling. Okay. So what is the primitive SJF? So already I have told you the concept. The CPU scheduling may be non-preemptive or it may be preemptive. Now come to what is preemptive SJF. If it was not specified preemptive or non-preemptive, if it is specified only SJF, then remember by default you assume it is the non-preemptive SJF. Okay. Now remember, preemptive SJF is also known as shortest remaining time fast scheduling, SRTF. Now according to preemptive SJF, when a new process enters into the ready queue, the scheduler compares the remaining burst time of the currently executing process with the next CPU burst time of the newly entered process. Now, if the burst time of new process is smaller than the remaining burst time of currently executing process, then the current process is preempted. And preempted means from the middle it will stop its execution and again it will return back to the ready queue. Okay. So the currently executing, if the burst time of the new process, newly arrival process is smaller than the remaining burst time of the currently executing process. So remember the word remaining, not the original. Then in that case, the current process is preempted and stored back in the ready queue with the remaining burst time. Otherwise, the current process will continue its execution. Now with the same arrival time of all processes, The primitive and non-primitive SJF produces same output. Remember the last one. With the same arrival time of all processes, the primitive and non-primitive SJF produces the same output. Okay? So let me tell you once again before solving the problem, what is primitive SJF? Now, in case of your primitive SJF or that is your SRTF, CPU scheduling, when a new process enters into the ready queue, simply the scheduler compares the remaining burst time of the currently executing process with the next CPU burst time of the newly entered process. If the burst time of the new process is smaller than the remaining burst time, okay, remember the term remaining. If it is smaller than the remaining burst time of the currently executing process, then the current process is preempted and time. Otherwise, simply the current process will continue its execution. So now let's, as I have told you, if the arrival time is same for all the processes, then the non-preemptive SJF and preemptive SJF works on the same way. So there will be no difference in their output. But if the arrival times are different, then only they will behave in different way. So now let's solve the same problem that we have discussed now with respect to non-preemptive SJF with preemptive SJF, or that is SRTF. So all of you again quickly write the problem. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once
Ma'am,
again,
the network issue is there, so many person cannot listen.
what happened? Your voice is not audible.
Ma'am, today very network issue is there, that's why somewhat voice is like.
Not audible. Voice is breaking maybe due to slow network. Due
Yes,
to
ma'am.
slow network. Sorry for that. So whatever I am writing, try to check that. All of you quickly once again write the problem. Then I will again discuss how to solve it. Remember, for solving the primitive CPU scheduling, anyhow you draw the ready queue. Otherwise, you will get confused. So here, for P1, P2, the arrival time given is 0, 0. So that means initially at time 0, two processes enters into the ready queue. One is P1 and another process is P2. So at time 0, there are two processes in the ready queue, P1 and P2. Now the CPU burst time for P1 is 5, for P2 is 3. So the scheduler will select which process for execution first. At time 0, there are two processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P2. So which one will be allocated to the CPU first?
Ma'am, here we have to see the burst time or what?
Here you have to obviously the burst time.
P2
So out
will
of this P1,
first.
P2 will be first because P2 having the smallest burst time. So here P2 will start execution. At time 0, P2 starts its execution. Okay. Now just check. At time 1, P3 enters into the ready queue. Okay. At time 1, P3, here at the below I am writing the arrival time and at the top I am writing the burst time. So when P2 is executing, just check at time 1, P3 enters into the ready queue. And what is the burst time for P3? That is 1. So now what the scheduler will do, as it is a primitive one, so scheduler will check what is the burst time for the newly entered process, that is 1, with whom the remaining burst time of the currently executing process. So what is the remaining burst time of the currently executing process, that is P2?
P3, 1.
By the time 1, P2 has already executed 1 millisecond. It needs total 3 milliseconds to complete its execution. So what is the remaining burst time for P2?
2.
2. So what the scheduler will do? It will compare the burst time of the newly entered process, that is P3, with the remaining burst time of the currently executing process. Which one is smaller, 1 or 2?
1.
1. So what the scheduler will do? It will preempt the P2. So it will stop P2 and again store P2 back in the ready queue. Okay? P2 is preempted. It is stored back in the ready queue with the remaining burst time, that is 2. And it will now start executing P3. Got the concept? Got the concept? What the scheduler will do? So all of you listen once again. Here, in case of your primitive scheduling, primitive SJ, when a new
Ma'am?
process, yes,
Ma'am, why you are taking P2 first in the Gantt chart?
okay. All of you just compare. Initially, at time 0, how many processes are there in the ready queue? At time 0,
2.
2 processes.
2 processes. That is
P1, P2.
P1 and P2. There is no other processes in the ready queue at time 0. So out of these 2, which having the smallest burst time? P1 or P2?
P2.
So that's why P2 is starting its execution first. Okay? Now while P2 is executing, at time 1, a new process enters into the ready queue. That new process is P3, which having the burst time 1. So what the scheduler will do? It will compare the remaining burst time of P2. By that, by 1, P2 have already executed 1 millisecond. So the remaining burst time for P2 is 2 milliseconds. So the scheduler compare the burst time of P3, that is 1, with the remaining burst time of P2, that is 2. Which one is smaller? Accordingly, that process will be allocated to the CPU. So now, though P2 is currently executing, as the new process P3 have the smallest CPU burst time, so P2 is preempted and stored back in the ready queue with the remaining burst time. So just check, at time 1, P2 again entered into the ready queue. It is released from CPU, once again allocated to the ready queue. And it is stored in the ready queue with the remaining burst time, that is 2. And P3 started its execution. So P3 will continue up to 2. So now just check, at time 2, another process enters into the ready queue. Okay? At time 2, another process enters into the ready queue. That is P4. So for P4, the burst time is 6. So just check, by this P3 has already completed its execution. And there are only 3 processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P2, and one more is P4. So which process now will be selected by the scheduler for execution?
P2.
P3 has a P2 because P2 having smallest burst time. So now once again P2 will be allocated. So while P2 is executing, just check at time 4, the next process enters into the ready queue is P5. At time 4, the next process enters into the ready queue is P5. And what is the burst time of P5? That is 2. So by the time 4, as the remaining burst time of P2 was 2, so by that time 4, 2 plus 2, that means P2 has already completed its execution. Got the thing? By time 4, P2 has already completed its execution. So the scheduler is not going to compare the burst time of P5 with the remaining burst time of P2. P2 already completed. So now there are 3 processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P4, and the next one is P5. Now, who will tell me what will be the next one to be allocated to the CPU?
P5.
P5. So at time 4, now P5 will be allocated. What the thing? Because it is having the smallest CPU burst time. Now, is there any other processes which are arising? No. So P5 will simply continue up to what will be the finish time for P5?
Ma'am, 6.
It starts at 4. It having the burst time 2, so it will continue up to 6. Got the thing? So by time 6, your P2 has completed, P3 has completed, and P5 has completed. Now there are only 2 processes in the ready queue. One is P1, another one is P4. So who will tell me what will be the next process to allocated to the CPU?
P1.
P1, because P1, if you will look at the ready queue, you will find that the next process having the smallest burst time is P1. That is 5. So now P1 will be allocated to the CPU. And P1 will continue up to yes,
11.
11. 6 plus 5, 11. Because here in the problem, no other processes are arriving. Only remember, when a new process is entering into the ready queue, at that time the scheduler will compare the burst time of the new process with the remaining burst time of the currently executing process. So there is no other processes here in the problem given that are arriving after time 4. So here it will, after that time it will simply execute the processes without any comparison. So now the last process, that is P4, is allocated to the CPU and it will continue up to P4 will continue up to yes. What is the finish time for P4?
17.
70. Clear? Now let's quickly find out the turnaround time, waiting time, and response time. For turnaround time, the formula same, finish time minus arrival time. So what will be the turnaround time for P1? What will be the turnaround time for P1? Quickly.
11.
11. If you look at the GNAT chart, P1 completed its execution at time 11. So finish time for P1 is 11. So 11 minus 0. Okay? 11 minus 0, that is 11. For P2, what is the finish time for P2? At which time P2 completed its execution? Looking at the GNAT chart, tell me.
4 minus 0.
Very good. So at time 4, P2 completed. So 4 minus 0, that is 4. Similarly for P3. For P3,
2 minus 1, ma'am.
2 minus 1. For P4, P4,
17 minus 2.
17 minus 2, that is 15. For P5,
6 minus 4.
for 6 minus 4, that is 2. So what is the average one?
6.6.
6.6. The same problem when we have solved using non-primitive SCF, it was 6.8. The same problem using FCFS was giving the average turnaround time 9.4. Sorry. Here it was 6.6. With non-primitive SCF, it was 6.8. But here it is 6.6. So that means what we find? The primitive SCF is better compared to your non-primitive SCF. Now let's find out the waiting time. Same, the turnaround time minus the burst time. So now tell me, what will be the waiting time for P1? Waiting time for P1. Quickly. What is the waiting time for P1?
6.
Am I audible?
6, ma'am.
11 minus 5, that is 6. For P2,
1,
for P2,
1,
4 minus 3, that is 1. For P3,
0,
1 minus 1, 0. For P4,
8,
for P4, how 8?
8, 15 minus 6. Sorry.
For 15,
9, 9. 9, ma'am.
9. For P5,
0,
0. What is the average value? Quickly find out what is the average value. Yes. What is the average waiting time?
Ma'am, 3.2.
No, not 3.2. One second, calculate.
3.6, ma'am.
What was the total? It is?
Total.
Oh, sorry.
3.
It is, correct. It is 3. No, it is 3.2. I think it was 16 divided by 5. 16 divided by 5, 3.2. Now let's find out the response time. For P1, what will be the response time? P1. Yes. For P1, what will be the response time?
Ma'am, 6.
6. So it is 6 minus 0. That is 6. For P2, for P2,
1,
what
1.
is the fast response for P2? Fast time when P2 is
2.
allocated to the CPU. No, fast response.
0.
0.
Okay, so just check carefully. Here it is 0 minus 0. So here the response time is not same with your waiting time. Just take carefully. 0 is the fast response when P2 is allocated to the CPU. Now for P3, what is the response time?
1.
1 minus
1
1.
minus
1 minus 1. So all of you write
1
in the
minus 1.
expanded form, otherwise you will not understand. For P4, for P4,
11 minus 2.
11 minus 2.
minus 2, that is 9. For P5,
P5. 4
4
minus
minus
4.
4.
4 minus 4, that is 0. So what
0.
is the average value? Quickly tell me, what is the average value?
3.
3.
So just check the waiting time and the response time are not same here. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All of you attend the quiz quickly. So by the time you are attending the quiz, respond your roll call. Abhijit,
Ma'am, he's has network issues. He have messaged you in the group.
okay, you complete the quiz within 5 minutes, then I will take the attendance.
Hello?
What
Hello?
happened?
Ma'am, my form is not opening due to network issue. I can share my screen if you want. What should I do now?
Try 1 second.
Yes, ma'am, I'm
Save the
trying, but
link.
it's...
Okay,
Yes,
save the
ma'am?
link and try it 1 second.
Okay, ma'am.
If still not able to submit, write your registration number in the chat box only. Quickly, within 5 minutes, complete, and let me take your attendance.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, the site is not opening, ma'am.
that may be due to your network problem. Okay, all of you first respond your roll call. After that, you try for the quiz. Abhijit, Ankit Das, Ankit Das, Simon Pradhan, Simon, Parthasarathi Malik, Parthasarathi Malik, yes, Tanya Jha,
Present, ma'am.
Asutosh Mishra,
Yes, ma'am.
Nikhil Kumar,
Present, ma'am.
Rahul Senapati,
Yes, ma'am.
Ansuman Ray,
Present, ma'am.
Chandrakant Gupta,
Present, ma'am.
Atish Raj,
Ma'am, Chandrakant Gupta present.
yes, Atish Raj, Jatish Naik,
Present, ma'am. Jyotish Naik. Present, ma'am.
okay, Pratesh
Just-
Patel,
Present, ma'am.
Anup Kumar, Hariom Kumar, Sandeep Mishra,
Present, ma'am.
Trivikram Patnaik,
I'm Sandeep Mishra, present, ma'am.
yes, Trivikram Patnaik, Smriti Ranjan Biswal, Rajiv Dubey,
Present, ma'am. Present.
Sikriti Modak,
Present, ma'am.
Sambit Kumar Sahu, Krishna Murari Sharma,
Present, ma'am.
Rihan Ahmad Khan,
Present.
Divya Prakash,
Present, ma'am.
Sakhan Chatterjee,
Present, ma'am.
Asutosh Sinha,
Present, ma'am.
Debojyoti Das,
Present, ma'am.
Shikhar Swarup,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya Mahapatra,
Present, ma'am.
Shirsak Samantray,
Yes, ma'am.
Ananya Linka, Ananya, Satinamra Mahapatra,
Present, ma'am.
Khushi,
Present, ma'am.
Neha Ranjan Pali,
Present, ma'am.
Sibulya Das,
Present, ma'am.
Nikita Rojalin Sahu,
Present, ma'am.
Krishna Samal, Abhisekar,
Present, ma'am.
Sheikh Mohammadi, Anjali Gaurav,
Present, ma'am.
Priyaprata Das,
Present, ma'am.
Alisa Patnaik,
Present, ma'am.
Divya Darshan,
Present, ma'am.
Aditya,
Present, ma'am.
Diksha Kumari,
Present, ma'am.
Amrit Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Rajesh Kumar Padi, Satyanarayan Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Prajwal Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Rupam Kumar Meher. Rupam Kumar Meher. So complete the quiz and then leave the meeting and complete the quiz.
Ma'am, quiz is not opening, ma'am. What should we do?
Those who are not
Not
able
opening.
to open, save the link and after some time again try. And write your registration number in the chat box so that I will know that you are responding late in the quiz. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Jyotish? Now you leave the
Okay,
class.
ma'am. Yes.